All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind invitation. It came the other day, so I had to prepare very quickly, but better late than never, because it's really, really important to precisely describe these cooperation patterns. It's a complex task because they're in many different areas, but I'll try to set up a story. And I'll take the opportunity also from the previous speakers. Thanks for the great presentations. For example, Angel took off the burden from me to explain about the multiple benefits of energy efficiency. This is what we usually talk about. And Kauyan was very, very provocative, but I tend to very much agree that the economic cycle is a strange animal, curious animal, and we are provoked precisely by the crisis, by the high prices, to invest and push innovation. If you take a step back, we missed the opportunities to use the free money that were on the market to invest in energy efficiency, energy saving technology, in infrastructure that is really needed. We are talking about that, you said, since 2009 about common purchases, joint purchases of gas. We are talking about renovation, 3% renovation that was shown since 2002 in my earlier memories. We're talking about ambitious building standards since 2002 in the first Energy Performance of Building Directive, but it is not coming into practice in periods when we have relative stability. Now we are prompted very harshly to push into that. And I guess this would be a turning point. After the first petrol crisis, we are at a point where there is no step back, and we heard that, by the way, yesterday. So, to move to the topic of the presentation, I thought of how to make up a story about our collaboration with Romania. And at the end of the day yesterday, I thought, okay, our collaboration story with Romania is the story of our organization. Our organization is EnEffect. It was established 30 years ago, presumably predominantly as a policy consultant, but even back then, we quickly understand that the policy consultant and such is not worth on the market. The policy consultant should establish and support the market to take up innovation. Precisely what Angel mentioned, how they are approaching the policy debate. And that's why we invested in establishing technical capacity. We are doing energy audits of buildings, of industrial system, of street lighting system, supporting precisely such kinds of innovation. And we also thought, okay, technical consultation is a good thing, but we also need innovative financial instruments to be supportive to the market. So then we engage in the Bulgarian Energy Efficiency and Renewable Sources Fund. And for 15 years, despite all the controversy in the financial schemes and subsidies programs that were adopted at certain stages when public financing was available, abundant, I was searching for the word. And this fund had to compete with 100% subsidy schemes. It was very hard because it doesn't offer grants, doesn't offer subsidies, but it still runs, it's still alive, despite that many people are not happy with that. And having that technical consultancies and financing instruments, we were a preferred partner for the local authorities because they lack precisely that. They lack technical consultancy, technical skills. They cannot identify, they cannot develop, they cannot implement good projects, and they need access to a secure and trustable financing instrument. And at the end of the day, this is where we ended up. Our financing is predominantly on European collaboration projects like Horizon, like LIFE at the moment. And this is where we get our expertise, and this is where we establish our cooperation with Romanian companies. And these are the areas that we would like to offer to your attention as important, and areas that you can also find relevant partners in Romania, partners that are with proven quality and capacity to deliver results. So first things first, energy planning. We are talking here about municipalities, but it also refers very much about businesses. Energy planning is something that we started probably 25 years ago, again with a Romanian organization, Romanian Energy Cities Network. They're the energy manager of the city of Brașov, but also very active. We recently did a project with them where we resumed our cooperation, and energy management is not an easy thing. It's a complex thing. We had to combine our common knowledge to design a new platform to help municipalities and facility managers, building owners, to really be able to identify the right projects at the right time and channel to them the right financing. That's the key thing in every kind of business related to the building sector. And we have a platform that is absolutely free for use of the Bulgarian municipalities. That is also used by financial instruments. The National Trust Eco Fund was the first user of the platform because they saw that they can monitor the results of their investments, and that's absolutely crucial for the success of the business story. So this is how it looks like. It's not anything surprising or fancy, but it's useful to identify the right thing at the right plan, and we move further, of course. Then from the plans for the management system, we're going to do good quality projects that are reaching Class A, because this is where we want to reach, and this is what pays off at the end of the day, because it also means quality. And we had the excellent opportunity also to work on the development of the building certification, again with Romanian organizations. So here it is the International Association of the Heating Engineers, RIVA, which is dominated by Romanian engineers, and here is the Urban In-Charge Institute, which I would mention many times again in the next slides, that we designed a wholly new approach to the building certification process, and we introduced it in the pilot process. But then again, buildings are not the only thing, and as we know, as we were just explained, it's an ecosystem. And from buildings, which are something that we all know, and it's very close to us, we had to move at a more comprehensive framework, and again we did that with the support of Romanian partners, which is the Romanian Green Building Council. So we jointly entered the ecosystem of the European Energy Award, which is one of the most established energy management methodologies and initiatives in Europe, mostly available in Western Europe, but we are expanding to Eastern Europe as well, because it's an excellent tool to monitor and to maintain quality in the municipal projects. We know what's the quality of the municipal project. It's very bad, to put it mildly. So now we need something that can push them up and bring them up to the best practices, and hopefully it would pay off. We started modestly, I would say, with a few cities, but it grows. In Romania, which are several years ahead of us in that process, we have excellent examples. Probably the city of Cluj is the most famous one, but the other cities that you see here, even smaller, they are also moving with strong steps. And we also convinced Sofia municipality, which is absolutely unimaginable several years ago, to get involved in that. I don't know where it would lead us, but hopefully to better times. We also involved our headliners of Gabrovo, which are one of the best performing cities in that, and also the city of Dobrich to join it. Now we're moving towards certification under the European Energy Award. We're moving towards action plans for development. We're moving towards recognition at the European level, because this is what they really need in their internal policy action. So we are moving to Luxembourg at the end of October to present the good things that are happening in Bulgaria and Romania, and see how we can advance with that initiative even further. And then municipalities, financing municipalities, always the correlation is very important. But here, the energy management methodology of the European Energy Award is very interesting with that it is very targeted to the end users. And at the end of the day, municipalities are working to develop the attitudes of their stakeholders, which are the citizens and the local businesses. So we had to have something for everyone, and a great opportunity was to, again with the Romanian Green Building Council, to introduce the green homes, green mortgage schemes that are quite popular in Romania already. As far as I know, several months ago there were already 6 banks, Romanian, that offered green mortgage scheme. We tried to introduce it with quite a lot of efforts. The banking sector is quite conservative when there is no crisis. So it was not precisely easy to work with that. But now we still that the biggest Bulgarian banks are already offering that, and they're communicating green mortgage scheme and other supportive scheme for energy efficient buildings, to put it in most generic way, in the cities. We recently opened an office, energy efficiency consulting office in the city of Gabrovo, and the banks are there. The banks are there promoting their products and services, which is an excellent investment, because at the end of the day, what would make the difference would be the citizens. So if we want policies to work, if we want that businesses would have interest towards their activities and better condition to work in the cities, we need to convince the local stakeholders, the local people, that it makes sense. It's the future, it's beneficial for their everyday life, and that's very difficult, and nobody starts even to think about that. I can give you the example with the Bulgarian renovation program. There is not a single cent put for communication with the final beneficiaries. Why? Because it's difficult, because it's not in the mainstream way of thinking of our policymakers, but someone has to do it in the end. And I hope that we're providing a good example that can be taken up at large scale. One of the examples that I would like to show to you is, again, with Urban InCharge and the ProEnZep cluster, which are a Romanian organization, again, under Horizon. We are talking about nearly zero energy buildings and how they benefit your everyday life. And to expand a little bit the geographic scope, we started in Croatia with that excellent Musa demo
mobile EnZep house, which we designed, delivered, and it has already been in Croatian cities, attracting huge interest for all kinds of groups, but most important from schools and universities, and it being an excellent example. We combine the work of these demo mobiles with training, education courses, with product exhibition. We place the businesses close to the people, and it pays off. These are already examples from Romania. The Romanian caravan, the Romanian mobile unit has traveled to Bucharest, to Iași, to Brașov. I think these are pictures from Brașov, and it was very, very good. What we hear from our partners there, that the interest is extraordinary, and they're continuing planning such public events with the support of the local authorities. We've been to Bulgaria. Many cities, it hasn't been easy. So we started with 4 visits, and sometimes it's been a very long experience. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it starts. I can give you hundreds of examples of how it works. But with some media appearance, some media work, with some prominent, let's say, policymakers that we have involved and push them to engage with. Our house, it pays off, and then we moved to Burgas, then we moved to Gabrovo earlier this year, and we worked with the nurse again, and it's starting to go, it's starting to work. And we're building our own passive house caravan. It's going to enter into the equation as well, and we'll continue, because we are fully convinced that without that connectivity, without placing stakeholders together, including professional audiences, viewers, without taking the responsibility to stand up and speak in front of public, change is not going to happen, and change happens in communication. First, through communication. Here are the channels, some of the channels that you could use for further information about our activities, jointly with our Romanian colleagues. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and questions.